Welcome, I'm Sarah Darcy, a PwC Private Audit Partner. Last month, the legislation passed for sustainability reporting, and that means that a large number of private businesses are going to be impacted in the very near future. It's important to look ahead for a sustainable vision and to be prepared for what's next. With this in mind, it is my great pleasure to introduce our guest today, Caroline Mara, our Sustainability Reporting and Assurance Leader, to guide us through the new sustainability reporting standards, the timelines in play, and the key steps for private businesses to take. So Caroline, if people are captured by this sustainability reporting standard, what does that involve and what do they need to do and by when?
Thanks, Sarah. Yes, finally in September, the Australian Parliament passed our climate-related financial disclosure legislation. So it means that companies, and there will be a transition, starting with our largest companies, Group 1, they'll have to prepare a sustainability report for the year beginning 1 January 2025. Now there's a test on size, so they have to meet 2 out of 3 criteria. That is over 500 mil of revenue, $1 billion of assets, or 500 employees, so 2 out of 3 of those. The second wave of entities will have to prepare a sustainability report for the years beginning 1 July 2026. And the last wave, Group 3, 1 July 2027. So that means by 30 June 28, all companies that currently prepare a financial report will likely have to prepare a sustainability report under the rules. So there's lots to do and lots to get ready for. And there are also audit requirements that go alongside that report.
Yeah, wow, it's a lot for companies to do. And so if they're doing a sustainability report, what's going to be included in that? And actually, what are they going to need to report on?
Yeah, great question. So the sustainability report will have 4 elements. They've got to prepare a climate statement, the notes to the climate statement, any other information around sustainability measures that's required under other legislation, and also a director's declaration, just like exists for the financial report, where the directors declare that the information's been prepared in accordance with the rules. And that report, so the climate statement element, will really be based on 4 things. They've got to disclose the governance over climate-related risks and opportunities, the risk management of that, also what their strategy is to actually decarbonise, as well as metrics and targets. Now, the metrics are going to be centred around greenhouse gas emissions, but also climate risks, both through transition and physical risk, and also scenario analysis of what the impacts will be on their business and things like capital deployment that they'll have to put into the business to support it. So lots of information, and there's already discussions around some of those governance matters, for instance, around executive remuneration that are coming to bear.
Yeah, so it's a lot to prepare for. So is there anything companies can do to prepare? But there must be some hidden opportunities in this process as well for businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if I start with what they should do to prepare, I think the key thing is perform a gap analysis against the requirements. So what information do you have already, or what do you need, and how can you fill those gaps? But once you've got an idea of that, it's really important to think about the systems, the policies, the processes of the organisation. And do you have all of that mature enough or activated to capture the information that you actually need? And what will be apparent, and I'm seeing it with other organisations at the moment, is this really is a cross-functional activity in a business. It's not just something owned by finance or sustainability. It's across the business. And I think that's really important to reiterate. And finally, look, I'd suggest it's important to think about pre-assurance activities. If this is going to need to be audited, you want to make sure before we get to that mandatory audit that you're ready. And so pre-assurance or readiness for audit is important. So that's all on the preparing. But what are the actual opportunities for the business? Well, I think they're coming to bear now. We're starting to see organisations really become aware of other revenue generating activities or cost saving initiatives that are having an impact on the bottom line. And that, coupled with information being provided to financiers, for example, is seeing lower costs of debt coming through for that organisation, and even equity values changing. So all of that's really important, but then capital as well, and what you use that capital for in the business will help generate better decision making and investment opportunities. So lots happening.
Thank you, Caroline. There's a lot of information for them to prepare for, but equally a lot of opportunities for businesses to work with and find for growth opportunities. And I'm already seeing finance teams being lent on to lead and drive this process because they can coordinate across the business as they've already had to do it through financial reporting. So as we wrap up, let me leave our viewers with a couple of takeaways. Do you know what your climate risks and opportunities are at the operational business level? Do you understand what you will be required to report on? How and who will collate the required information for reporting, and when do you need to do it by?